Welcome to the first video of The Best Chef. My name is Brayden, and today we'll be making a silly guacamole with a face. The ingredients are 2 avocados, a bunch of cilantro. You're not going to need all this. If you don't have a bunch of cilantro, you can use this. Some salt. I'm using Morton salt, but you can also use kosher salt. I'm using a tomato, about 1/6 of it. I'm also going to use about 1/6 of a red onion. So, I'm also going to use a lime. If you do not have a lime, you can use lime juice. So now for the face. If you want to make the face, you do need a lime. So you do need a lime for the face, and also you also need one grape tomato to make the face. If you do not have this tomato, you can also use grape tomatoes cut up. All right, let's get to it. First, we have to wash our hands for at least 20 seconds. Then don't forget to turn the water off so your parents don't get upset. Now, let's get to the cooking. So, I have a knife I'm gonna use. I recommend if you're a kid, you can use a kid-safe knife like I'm using, or you can also use an adult knife if your parents let you. You could also, and if you're an adult, you could use an adult knife or a kid's knife, whichever you want. So now let's get to the cooking. So first, you cut off the top of the avocado, so it looks like this, and then you should try to go around the pit and cut it like this. There's a big pit in the middle, and you will also need that to make the face. Oh, and I forgot to add this. You do need the red onion to add the face. If you do not have all these ingredients, or you do not like all these ingredients, you don't have to add them. It's up to you. So, my avocados were in the refrigerator, so mine might be a little harder to cut open, but I'm sure yours will be easier. So, yeah. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do, but that will be fine. So now, that's not how I was expecting it to go, but now I can just cut this off. It's fine if there's a little brown in it. Just make sure there's not too much. I'm gonna throw this piece away because that has a lot of brown on it. So yeah, I'm gonna throw that away. And now I'm gonna cut this. The pit's right there, so that's gonna be a little harder. So I'll put that in. And then I'll cut this off so I can get the pit out. And then I'll get the pit out by using my knife, and it should come out. It should be easier than mine if yours wasn't in the refrigerator. But if yours was in the refrigerator, it'll probably still be easier than mine, because I've had mine for a while. Just make sure there's not too much brown in it. Yeah. So here, there's a little string. I don't know what that is. I'll put that in. And now, if you have a little scooper that you want to use, sort of like a spatula, I'm going to use this, but if you don't want to use this, you don't have to. You can use your hands or a spoon. So this avocado was not great, but but maybe you guys probably have better avocados. So now I've done both halves of the avocado. I did not get much from this avocado. I was expecting it to be a little more. And then you can just give it a nice little chop. And then we'll chop it up more later after we do this avocado. So, you repeat those steps again. Cut the top off. You try to go around the pit like that. That wasn't how I was hoping either, but that will work. So now that will go in there. Oh yeah, and make sure there's none of this stuff in there. Maybe if there's one piece that would be fine, but make sure you don't see any of this. All right, so now this pit is a little harder to get because I didn't go as deep this time. So I am going to do this so then the pit will come out. So now I can put that in and make sure there is no brown in there. And guys, the fun part about cooking is getting messy. So if you get messy, that's okay. I don't usually get this messy because my avocados aren't usually this feisty with me, but today they're being very feisty. So now I'm gonna take my peel. I have 2 pits. I'm gonna cut the rest of the guac off of this one and throw this one away. Guys, make sure you do not put the pit in the sink because if you do, it could clog it. So make sure you don't. Put it in the trash can. So I'm gonna save this pit for the nose. And I'm gonna throw this one away. And now I'm going to throw the peel away. All the peels. Make sure you do not put this in the sink because that will also clog it. I'm gonna throw this in the trash. And then I'm gonna get the tops of it. And I'm also gonna throw them in the trash. And then, you don't need to do a full wash on your hands. I'm just gonna do a light wash. I'm just gonna rinse to get the guac off. You don't really need to wash your hands because there was nothing raw in there. So now, you guys can do it in any order you want. I usually do the onion first. I'm just used to doing the onion first. So you can sweep all this away. Now you have a space for an onion. You can also wipe it off if you want, but I'm not. So I have 2 onions in this bag. I'm gonna use the one that is not peeled yet. Actually, no, I'll use the one that is peeled because I can use this up before it goes bad. So it's easy just to peel an onion. You just take the sides off. Just make sure the sides come off just like that. And then after you take the sides off like that, there's your onion. I'm just gonna use this because it's gonna go bad soon. So yeah. So I'm gonna cut them up into small pieces. You can also rinse your knife, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not gonna cut them too small, but if you want to cut, you can cut them however small you want. I'm just not gonna cut them too small because I'm not gonna take the time to really do that because it is really hard to get them small. You can, if you don't want to cut, you can also ask a parent to do this, or you can do it. So I'm gonna keep cutting. So I'm just gonna keep cutting. I'll let you do the same, and yeah. Guys, don't rush on this because the whole part about cooking is taking your time. The recipe won't be as good if you don't take your time on it. So I recommend you take your time because then the recipe will be a lot better and taste a lot better. So I've got most of my onion cut up. I'm just gonna cut this up, but I don't know if this is gonna be enough. I think it will be. And guys, if you wanna go light on anything, you can. I'm like not following the recipe that much. I'm like doing half for some of the things and full for some of the things. So just estimate it and do it at your pace and do it how you think you and your family will like it. I've been doing a lot of cooking at home. So it's a great thing to do while we're home in quarantine and there's not really much to do. So now I'm almost done with this onion. I'm not done yet. And guys, you do not need the oven for this. You don't really need anything but a bowl. I forgot to say you do need a bowl and a spatula is optional. All right. Oh yeah, and the grape tomatoes, unless you're using them in the guac. And the lime is optional, but the lime juice, I recommend you still use in the guac. But anything you don't think you and your family will like, feel free to leave out. So I've got my onion pieces, and I've got my guac. First, before I put those in, I'm gonna mash up my guac. If your avocados are soft, oh yeah, and make sure your avocados are soft before you start cooking because they're not soft. They could be hard to like get into a mushy style. So those onions made my eyes teary. So if that happens to you, you're not the only ones. I'm gonna mash this up. Mash it up as small as you can get it. Take your time on it. Don't rush. All right, mine is not mushing up. It is mushing up, but there's some chunks in here that I need to mush up better. Because you don't want chunks in your guacamole. The chunks will make it worse, and you don't want chunks. I've had it before. My dad's made it before. It's not good, and it's not fun to eat. All right, so I'm almost done with this. So I'll be done in just a minute. Yeah, I think this is good. It doesn't need to be perfect. None of your cooking needs to be perfect, but try to make it as good as you can. I'm just gonna mash up that little chunk. Oh yeah, and if your guys' avocado is like really hard and you like can't cut it, you can use you can't mash it. You can use like a fork and knife to cut it and make it smaller. But I definitely recommend your avocados are soft before you make guacamole. Because if they're not soft, it will be a lot harder to mash up the avocado. Because you can see I'm struggling. If you guys are already done, feel free to fast forward the video. And if you guys are not done, I'll keep mashing it up with you. Alright guys, I am now done mashing up the avocado. It's pretty good, not the best. I might do a little more mashing when I put the onions in, but I mean, I can stick with it for now. So I'm gonna take this out. Guys, my mom loves the avocado, and make sure you get all of it off for your parents because I bet you they'll like it. You need to use everything you can. Every piece you can. Because I bet you're gonna chow this up when you try it. All right, so I'm gonna put the onions in. If you guys made too many onions, you can leave some to the side or just, you can eat them if you like onions. They're a little too spicy for me, but if you guys like them, you can eat some. Feel free to try anything that is not raw while you're cooking. I'm not going to because I know I don't like onions and I don't want to spit it out in front of you. So, I'm gonna make sure none of the leftover avocado gets in because those pieces you probably left out are bad pieces. So, now I am done with that and I'm gonna mash it up more, mix the onions in. All right. Oh yeah, and guys, if you have a full onion like this, make sure to wash it before you start peeling. I forgot to say that. So I'm gonna mash this in and then we can go in and then we'll do the cilantro. And once again, it doesn't matter which order you guys do it in, but I'm gonna do it in the order I usually do it in. So here we go. They don't have to be mixed in well, but I do recommend you mix them in because that will make it better and there's not chunks all in one spot. So I do recommend you mix it in. If you guys really like onions, use a lot. If you guys don't like if you like onions a little, use some. If you guys don't like onions, don't use any. All right. So I am almost done with that. I'm gonna go give my hands one more rinse. Dry them off. And then we're done with the onion. So I have this big onion, but I don't have anything else. So I'm gonna go put this onion back. But before I go do that, if the onion looks weird, just don't use it, or ask your parent before you do use it because the onion might not be good, or yeah. So you can put the onions in the sink, but I'm just gonna throw them away. So now let's do the cilantro. Peel a few of the heads off. If you don't like cilantro, don't pull as many off, or you don't even have to use the cilantro. If you guys just want plain avocado, feel free to go like that. But I'm gonna use all this for the folks out there that do want to make the full recipe of the avocado. So guys, at the end, I do have a recipe book I found this in, and I will show you that in case you guys want to order it. I mean, it's not the best recipe book I have, but it's not a bad one. But I have another recipe book that has another guacamole recipe in it that maybe I'll do that one with you another time. If you guys want to rinse your knife off, feel free to. I'm just gonna pull this. I'm not gonna cut it. I'm just gonna pull it, and you don't really just make it how you want it to be. It's all you guys. You can do it how you want to do it. Okay? You're the chef, and you can do it how you want to do it. Oh yeah, and guys, before you just scatter off and just start cooking, be sure to ask your parent. I asked my parent, and she knows, of course, because she's videoing me. And I think my dad knows too. So does my brother. Oh yeah, and some days my brother will join me, and he'll help me cook. Maybe even one day my dog will help us. So just keep peeling the cilantro until you feel like it's small enough. If you guys don't think it's enough cilantro, you can always peel more off. Oh, I forgot to put the onion in the fridge. I'll put that in when I'm done. I don't like cilantro. My mom doesn't. I don't think my brother does, but my dad loves it. So I'm gonna put a medium amount in for my dad. So get all that in there. It doesn't have to be really small. Don't waste all your time doing this. So if you want to get them really, really small, like that will take you a while. So now I'm gonna rinse my hands over the sink, and now I'm gonna do the tomato. So really all I use this tomato for is making the guacamole. So I'm gonna use the knife that already has guac on it, because my whole family likes guac, and yeah. So I'm gonna use about that much. There is gonna be like a liquid in there. I'm gonna dump that out. And if you guys like the liquid, you can leave that. That might make it more juicy. I don't really know because I'm not a tomato person. So I'm gonna cut it up, like an estimation. Not gonna do too much and not too little. So, just diced tomatoes, not that, don't worry about making them as small as you can get them, just like the onion and the cilantro. I don't waste my time on that, but if you want to waste your time on that, you can. So, if you guys have already cut up your tomato, you guys can fast forward until I'm done cutting up mine. But if you guys are still cutting, feel free to stay tuned with me. So, I got the tomato. There it is. I'm not using that much because me and my dad and my brother don't like it. First of all, my brother doesn't even eat my guacamole, so I don't think I really need to worry about what he likes and what he doesn't like for this recipe. But my mom and dad, and so do I, really love this recipe. And I don't really like tomatoes, and neither does my dad, but my mom loves them. So, if my brother wants, he can come in and say hi. So while he says hi, you can put this in and start stirring it up.
Hi guys, I'm Logan, and some days I might help him. So yeah, I guess I'll sit here for a little and watch it.
All right, so he's my brother. His name is Logan, if you didn't hear. And yeah, so he will help me some days. He's not a cook. He's more of a baseball player than a cook, but I really like cooking, so yeah. So those tomatoes are munched in, and so is the cilantro because I never mix the cilantro. And then we just need the salt and the lime. All right, rinse my hands off one more time. Dry them. And make sure you dry them well, guys, because you don't want the salt sticking to your hands. That's not fun at all. So make sure you dry them well, because if you don't, the salt's really small, so it will like stick to your hands. All right. So now I'm gonna estimate the salt. My recipe calls for, it just says salt to taste, so I'm just gonna estimate it. It doesn't call for a right or wrong amount. You guys like salty food, feel free to add more than I am. I'm gonna add about this. And guys, if you're using chips, don't add too much salt because the chips also have salt. I'm not gonna add too much because I think last time I might have added a little too much. So now I'm gonna wash that off. It's still stuck to my hand even though I dried them well. But if you guys just wanna wipe it off and put it in the avocado, you can. So now you can stir that in. Get all the edges. It will be dirty. Actually, never mind. But now, I don't know what a right lime is or what a wrong lime is. My dad got this at the store yesterday, but I don't know if it's what a right or wrong ripe lime is and what's not ripe lime. So I'm just gonna use this lime because I think it will be fine. If you guys don't have a lime, you can also use a lime juice. I recommend you use about 1 teaspoon of lime juice. Oh yeah, and for the cilantro, I recommend you use about a pinch like you do for fish food. So now, I'm gonna wash the lime off. Make sure there's no tags on it. I took mine off and put that to the side. Now I'm gonna wash it. All right, so now that's there. I'm gonna cut off the end. I don't know if you guys really need to. If you guys know how to cut a lime, you guys can comment on it. But if you don't know how, that's okay because I don't know how. So I'm gonna cut both ends off. I don't know if I really need to do this, but I'm just gonna do it. Yeah, so I'm going to cut it down the middle. Last time I did this, I cut myself. But you guys probably won't cut yourself. I was using a sharp knife. I wasn't using this knife. I was using one of the adult knives. So I do recommend you use a kid's knife if you don't want to cut yourself. So now you squeeze the lime in. Squeeze all that juice in, however much you feel like is good for you and your family. I don't think I used all that juice that could have came out of that lime, but I used a little of it. So now we're done with making our guacamole. Good job, guys. You should pause the video now and go put all your ingredients away, but I'm going to put them away when I'm done. So, if you guys don't want to make the face, you guys are done, and you guys can enjoy your guacamole. Since I don't know if this onion is good or not, I am going to use chips to make my face. Actually, I'm gonna use chips to make my face. All right, my smile. So spread this out into like a circle position. And guys, if you don't want to make your face, you do not need to watch this. But you guys do want to make your face. It will turn out really fun and cool. Alrighty. So, can you go put that in the sink, please? Thank you. And now you can like spread it out into a circle position. Sometimes I like to add a beard with the chips, but I'm not gonna do that today. So my mom's getting into the chips. So that's what that noise is. So so I'm gonna make it skinnier, a skinnier face. So yeah, and then you can use the chips for the head, for the hair. The hair. You already have your head. If you don't want to do this, you don't have to. But if you want to be bald, you don't have to do this. I'm gonna put a lot of chips on because my mom likes when I do that. So she can dig right in. So I'm gonna have long hair just like me. My mom tried doing a haircut, but she didn't really finish it. So there's the chips. He has really long hair. So the hair. And now I cut this lime in half for the eyelashes. And then I'm gonna use another, I think this is where I cut myself. So I don't cut myself this time. I'm gonna not cut it down the middle. So I'm gonna leave it like this. Put them right there. And now I need a tomato. You just need one of these. And my dad's done this before. I didn't have a grape tomato, so he used like he used like a teaspoon or a tablespoon and scooped like a little circle out of it to make the eyes. You can wash this. You don't need to wash it very as good as you can, and then cut it down the middle. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then put them right there. And now I'm gonna use the pit I saved for the nose. And then I'll use the chips for the mouth. All right. So I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I'll try my best. If you guys have an extra piece of onion, I just don't know if this one's good. You can just cut up like a little strip of onion, maybe a little skinnier than this, and use that as the mouth. So there's my mouth. I'll use the rest of these chips and add it to the hair. And once you're done with this, you got your guacamole. It should look like this. If it doesn't, it's totally okay, because the most important thing is to have fun. If you didn't have fun, you should have. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye.
Peace.